So the last part of this section is going back a little bit and talking about the skewed right, skewed left, and normal distribution for a little bit more detailed format. So let's just first talk about skewed left. Okay. So if you remember, skewed left should look roughly like this, right? The tail end is going to the left. Okay. Now, I said earlier, right, the skew left is being because the tail end is going to the left, and I kind of lied. Just give you guys a bit of information. The real reason why it's called a skewed left graph is because technically, right, if we find the mean and median of itself, most of the time the median will always be closer to the hump. So you can consider this point here to be the median. Okay. And closer to the portion over here would be roughly the mean. Okay. So the reason why it's called a skewed left graph is because the mean is actually to the left of the median. That's why it's called a skewed left graph. Now remember, this goes from 0 up, right? We're just going from a scale. What that means is the mean is actually smaller than the median. And again, if you notice, hence why the arrow is pointing to the left. So that's why technically it's called a skewed right graph or skewed left graph. So using that concept, you could probably tell why it's called a skewed right graph instead of the controversy, right? So skewed right. It just literally everything just flips the entire thing around. So median is still closer to the hump, say approximately here. And the mean is somewhere over here. Okay. And again, now this is why it's called a skew right, because the mean is to the right of the median. And in this case, however, the mean is actually greater than the median. And again, right, looking at the arrow, hence why it's going to the right. Okay. And then the last one is our very special one. You'll see this. I'll talk about this a little bit more. Is a normal distribution or the bell-shaped curve, or a perfect curve. And you'll see in a little bit as to why that's so important. It's perfect. Um, this one is so perfect because the mean and the median are exactly in the middle, meaning they're the exact same number. So when we have a bell-shaped curve or normal, the mean and the median is exactly the same number because everything's perfectly symmetric. Okay. So those are three different types of graph when it comes to it, and again, why they're actually called skew right, skew left, and normal itself. Okay. And hopefully you have a little bit more space to deal with. The last thing it's on is mode. It's a very simple concept. That's why I just gave you guys to the last minute to do that. The mode essentially is the value that occurs in the data set the most. Okay. So literally is what number occurs the most, that's called the mode. That's pretty much it. It's a pretty straightforward concept. When it comes to this though, we have three different ways of describing this. So we can have something called a bimodal, but that means we have two modes. So in other words, if I look at my data set, two numbers occur the same number. So like I have a 5 and a 2 occur 5 times, right? Or, things like that. We could have multimodal, meaning there's three or more modes. And obviously we can have no modes, meaning all the numbers come out the same amount of time, right? So all numbers come out once, all numbers come out twice, and so forth, on like that. And that finishes this section here.